Hey there, Soul Shines. It's Michelle, the Miracle Maker here, and apparently I am having conflict with making my miracles with YouTube because once again, YouTube did not cooperate in allowing me to go live. So here I am recording it and I'm going to upload it. And today I want to talk about the messages that our bodies have for us. So, let me just share up front that some of the stuff I'm talking about is going to be kind of personal, not just for me, but for some of the people that I love. And so I'm going to try and do it with the least amount of, I'm not sure what the word would be. I don't want to say things that would give it away, but at the same time, I know that it will. So there's a situation in my family that was very shocking. It was very out of the blue and hard to accept. In fact, I'll tell you right now, my cousin passed away unexpectedly. He went in to do a stress test and then went off to work, and whether he was not told that he needed to rest or stay or whatever, I don't know exactly what happened, but he had died of a heart attack from the repercussions of the stress test. Pretty unexpected and pretty crazy. And so our families had a lot of reactions to it, both emotionally and in our bodies. And so this is part of why I want to talk about it. So one family member's reaction, she has been having diarrhea every time she thinks about it. And so I was curious because there's a lot of different judgments. They can tell it's emotional because it happens every time she thinks about the situation. But some people are saying it's something else, and some people are saying this. There's a lot of opinion as to why it happens. And so I was really curious, and so I looked it up. So here's how I look up to find out what kind of emotions or beliefs or things are going on behind our illness, because I find it can be quite challenging to look up. And so what I do is I type in a Google search. You could probably use whatever search engine you want. And I type in metaphysical cause of, and then I put in what it is. So to find out these symptoms for this family member, I put in metaphysical cause of diarrhea. Now the reason why I put in metaphysical cause is because for some reason, when I just put in emotional cause, I get all kinds of weird things, and metaphysical cause seems to actually bring me the results that I'm looking for. It took me years to figure that little key out, and so now I look up metaphysical cause of. So the metaphysical cause of diarrhea are quite interesting and make complete sense when you know what they are. Diarrhea happens when your body cannot metabolize whatever it has going through it, and it just pushes that out so fast it can't even reject it. Can't even accept it. It just rejects it. So diarrhea, one of the most probable causes for it is when you have an emotional reaction, emotional situation, or some kind of situation that's happening that you just can't accept. And because you can't accept it and you won't allow it to come in and metabolize it, you're rejecting it, and your body is rejecting. And so that is why your body is just spewing it out. I know that's kind of a gross way to put it. But, so this situation, this family member cannot come to terms with and accept the fact that my cousin passed away the way that he did. It was such an unexpected thing. And this family member cannot accept it. And so that is why she has been having a physical symptom of diarrhea. Other symptoms that our family has been having is we've been connecting in with the energy of the different kind of illnesses going around. And so sometimes that happens because you have a belief that you can and will catch everything that's going around. Sometimes you have a belief that you're just going to get sick every winter. So sometimes you have those kind of beliefs, and sometimes there's other messages with them. And a lot of times I think that both are connected in. That's just my personal opinion. So this is what a cough is. A cough is really kind of about, it can be different depending on what kind of cough it is, but when you're coughing, it's kind of like that expelling. You're trying to expel something out of your airways, and you're trying to get something cleared out so that you can breathe. So cough is emotionally, you're trying to expel something. You're trying to get it out so that you can breathe. So a lot of times that you have it, depending on the kind of cough, it could be anger, it could be like just something you're just not expressing, and you're trying to get it out. So you cough to get it out, and obviously I have something. And I've been working through my different things. What was really interesting was I fell last Saturday and I scraped my knee. I have not had this size of a knee scrape ever in my life. It is that big. It's pretty crazy. Some things that I found interesting is that the reason it happened was because I was walking down a driveway, and the one side was a little bit higher, and I stepped right on that seam, and so I fell, and then I cut myself. Oh my gosh, my screen to my phone is so cracked. I was so sad. I'm like, I have my phone, my knee. I couldn't sleep the first night. It hurt so bad. And okay, first of all, the side of the knee that it where you land on, whichever side of your body relates to different things, can relate to masculine and feminine energy. It can relate to whether it's an internal thing or an external thing. There's a lot of things. And for myself, I tend to seem to flip things, and I respond to the opposite of what people say, which is usually typical of a left-handed person. I'm not left-handed. I always wanted to be left-handed, but I'm not sure why I get a switched response, but I do. So there you go. So but one of the things is like this scraping thing really got me some interesting beliefs and ideas that were coming up. Some of it's like about the abrasiveness of life and different things like that. So the one that's really fascinating to me is this concept of achiness. So with this stuff that I have, I started getting a little tickle like right in here the night before last. The things that were going on in my experience is I was trying to step fully in being a client magnet and being able to attract the clients and the financial stability that I would like to have, at least on a conscious level. I'd like to have it. I'm not so sure on a subconscious level that I really want that. And so that's what I was doing throughout the day. So that's a part of what was going on. I started getting the little tickle. The other thing is I've been doing a lot of healing work with my relationship with my mother. And so yesterday I started getting achy. And I know that achiness is kind of a longing to be held. And I've always kind of associated that with like, I long for my sweetheart to hold me. Well, last night I finally admitted that I honestly long for my mom to hold me. As a little girl, I wasn't one of those, raised in one of those homes where the mom cuddles you when you're feeling unwell, or when your feelings are hurt, or when you're sick. The only time she held me when I was sick is when I was a toddler and I had extreme earaches. I even had tubes in my ears when I was 18 months old. So I had extreme ear problems. That's the only time my mom held me, when I was sick, that I remember. I just, like, when people say, I want my mommy when they're sick, I'm like, I don't get it. Like, I'm like, intellectually, I understand why you want your mom, but I'm like, I have no craving for my mom when I'm sick, because what's the point? It's like, she doesn't do anything for me. And so last night I looked at that and I realized that I long for my mom to hold me. And so I did some energy healing work on it, and I asked when it started and did some healing work back at the very, very beginning of when this started, and the achiness went away like that, which was pretty cool. I love it when that happened. I woke up this morning with, oh my gosh, I can still feel it right now a little bit. I've had some relief itchy ears. You know how like itches inside? Oh my gosh. So I was looking for the metaphysical causes of that. And sometimes it's because you long to hear things that aren't being said. And that again goes with my mom. Like, I've always, like, it's awesome that people tell me I'm very insightful. It's awesome that people compliment my YouTube videos, or they compliment my healing abilities, or compliment me for anything. It's awesome. But I long to hear for that, those kind of things from my mom. So that's interesting to have that awareness. And after I had that awareness, did a little bit of healing work on it, and the itchiness went down until I got on this video, and now all of a sudden I'm going, oh my gosh. So it makes me wonder what else I either long to hear or I'm not allowing to come in. That's the other thing, is I could be not allowing. I also kind of looked at the ear chakras, and they're connected to the third eye chakra, and that receiving the information in an auditory way. And that is kind of interesting because my strongest clairvoyant, it's not clairvoyant, but clairvoyant specifically means clear seeing, which I think is interesting because the word clair in French means light. I mean, it also means clear, but it also means light. And so it's light seeing, and I think that's kind of cool. You can see light. But one of them was clairaudience, and that's probably my strongest of the different clairs that people can have. So it's interesting that my ears, it's interesting that as a little girl, I couldn't hear it all. I wasn't talking until later, till after they had the tubes in my ears, because I couldn't hear. I still have a lot of times when things come up, it's problems with my ears. And so it's really interesting that my strongest gift is in the ability to hear the divine through the clairaudience. I just think that's really fascinating. So your voice, coughing, sore throats, a lot of that has to do with things that you're either saying or regret saying, holding back what you're saying. So this is a lot of that vocal kind of thing. So part of why my throat started hurting again is because I wasn't expressing some feelings that I've had. Something happened an hour and 20 minutes ago, and I haven't acknowledged them, and that's coming out. Like, you haven't expressed them, you haven't acknowledged this is how you feel, and so it's coming out in my symptoms. So what do you do? What do you do when you know? It's like, great, fine, I know that my illness probably has an emotional cause. What do I do with that? What do you do with that information? I like to, first of all, just acknowledging it when it rings true is pretty awesome. Okay, that's bugging me. So acknowledging it's pretty awesome. My throat's even starting, just acknowledging that I didn't express my feelings. My throat's starting to feel a little better. I'm feeling like I actually have my voice a little closer to normal. So that's pretty cool. I like to trace things back to the very beginning. The first time, how old was I the first time I felt this way? How old was I the first time I didn't feel like I could express my angry feelings or my hurt feelings or my disappointed feelings? How old was I the first time? That's one way to look at it. And then I like to go back a step further and ask myself when the seed was planted that created that first experience. As a part of what I do in my healing work. And so then we zap it with light and clear it across time, space, dimensions, realities, generations, and spirits. Clear it in the soul, clear it in, sometimes I clear it in the Akashic record, sometimes I clear it family lines, lots of different things, whatever comes up intuitively. Clear it, and then imprint what I want to experience instead. So imprint feeling safe to express myself. Imprint the knowledge and teachings of how to safely express my emotions. Things like that. And so I'll imprint and create those in all the places that I release it from. That's one way to deal with it. You can do EFT tapping. You can try doing the emotion code. I've done a little bit of that to help get rid of some of the energy creating all this. I do not want to be sick tomorrow. I want to be nice and healthy. That's another thing. Talk about how healthy you are. Talk about how good things are going. Talk about the what you want it to be and not what you don't want it to be. Talk about how amazing it is to have that great voice and how your ears hear so well and they feel so good. And talk about how healthy your body is. So that's really important, as well as talking about those kind of things and talking about how healthy I'm going to be. I am healthy now, I'm healthy tomorrow, and that's pretty awesome. So, like in the case of this family member who was not accepting things, they can do some tapping or some praying or just even acknowledging, hey, I'm not accepting this. And when you're praying, I'm not accepting that this happened. Please help me to accept it. If you're tapping, I'm accepting what's happening in my life. I'm accepting what's happening in my life. I'm accepting what's happening in my life. Those kind of things to help you. And why, like you can look at it. It's really hard to lose certain people in your life. And there may be some trapped energy from a long time ago that creates this. And sometimes it's family energy, like inherited and stuff, because of the way things get passed down in our DNA. So there's a lot of possibilities, a lot of things to look at. So there's some different solutions, some different ideas, affirmations, acknowledging what you're feeling. Sometimes I can just I'll like to say I release it to God, but you can just release. I'm releasing this emotion. I like to replace it with positive emotions. So I'm replacing this emotion with positive energy. I'm releasing, like if it's anger, because I'm feeling a lot of anger at the situation earlier. So I'm releasing this anger and I'm replacing this anger with compassion. And I will say that a few times until I feel it. So those are just some possibilities. If you have any tools or ideas that you want to share with people in the comments, leave them below so that they can also have other tools and other ways to deal with the things that are happening. I can't promise you that things will get better like that, but sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. Sometimes the problems are deeper, and sometimes they have to run their course, and we can just shorten the courses. Some things you're not going to ever fix. Like you cut off a finger, you're not going to grow a finger back. There's just things that there are certain laws that are higher than our beliefs and energies, right? So if you end up in a wheelchair, depending on how serious it is, you may always be there, and it may just be to find joy in your circumstances. So some things can find healing, and some things can just find relief, experiencing the joy in them. And that's another thing, is asking. Just ask the universe, ask God, ask whoever you believe in, your higher power, to help you accept what you cannot change, and help you to find joy in what you cannot change. And if it is possible to be changed, if it is possible to release some energy and change the experience, then ask for that too. So that's what I have to share with you guys today. Thank you for watching. Remember to let your soul shine big, bright, light, and beautiful. Be the incredible you that you were designed to be. And I'll see you guys next time.